Senator Alex Padilla of California. Senator Padilla, we have a lot of ground to cover with you this morning. We really appreciate you being with us. But let's start there. That's sort of new information that the border czar, Mr. Homan, shared with us just now, that some of those who were picked up by ICE in those initial raids in the fashion district at the Home Depot, he says, are wanted for major offenses. Are you aware of that? What is your reaction to what you just heard from Mr. Homan?
Look, this administration has been anything but forthcoming and transparent with information as it pertains to immigration enforcement, not just here in Los Angeles, but since he took office on January 20th and everywhere in between. So it is absolutely frustrating. But let's just take a step back here for a second, because there's clearly not just hundreds, but thousands of folks that have been detained and deported over the last several months. In that group, are there possibly some violent criminals or dangerous criminals? Of course, and nobody's contesting them being a priority. But long gone are the days that Donald Trump said that would be the only focus. What we keep hearing is story after story of a working mother or father being detained and deported with no criminal history, just happened to be in the United States undocumented. Stories of a 4-year-old girl receiving life-saving treatment that has been notified for deportation. They've, of course, since reversed that because of public pressure. But to say that they're only targeting violent criminals is false, and that's what has so many people upset. And they're choosing to ignore due process in a lot of these cases as well. That they've been sued, they've lost those lawsuits, but they continue to defy court orders just with their obsession of being cruel and aggressive.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Homan acknowledged that they were going after more than just criminals. They said that trying to penetrate the shield of a sanctuary city. He also defended the use of the National Guard in this moment. But we have heard from the governor, from the mayor, from the police commissioner, all saying that the vast majority of the protesters there have been peaceful. They condemn any of those that are violent, but they say they're few and far between. What do you say here about the use of the National Guard, these troops on the streets of an American city?
Look, I agree 100%. The vast majority of protesters and demonstrators are peaceful. They're passionate. When you come into a community like Los Angeles, the way that the Trump administration has, you need to expect to be countered with people who are passionate about defending fundamental rights, about standing up for due process. Sadly, there are folks who will exploit the situation. So, yeah, the vandalism, the violence, that has no place. It's counterproductive. But let's focus on what's going on here. The National Guard is your question. This is the first time since 1965 that the National Guard has been federalized and deployed against the wishes of state and local authorities. When was the last time? When President LBJ sent troops into the South during the civil rights movement to defend civil rights protesters. This is sort of a complete 180 from that. Look, Los Angeles Police Department, I've been in touch with Chief McDonald. Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, I've been in touch with Sheriff Luna. They know how to handle demonstrations. They know how to handle protests. They know how to handle parades and rallies and everything else. Let them do their job. When the National Guard shows up without a clear mission, because there's not a clear mission that has been communicated to local authorities, that creates confusion. That creates tension. That's what has escalated the situation that Donald Trump is now using that as a justification to escalate even more.
So my next question, Senator, is twofold. I mean, is your message to protesters, don't be played, be peaceful, or what is your message to protesters? And then are there any legal avenues that you and other elected officials are pursuing?
Yeah, so a couple of messages out there. Number one, like, this is personal for me. Not only is Los Angeles my home, anybody who knows me, I'm a proud son of immigrants. My parents came to the United States. They came to Los Angeles in pursuit of the American dream, like so many others. I was born and raised there, product of public schools, and now have the honor of representing California in the United States Senate. So I know the immigrant story because of the community where I grew up. The protesters that are out there, thank you. Please keep protesting. Protest peacefully, but please keep protesting, because Donald Trump wants one of two things. He either wants people to stay quiet, to cower, and just look the other way while he continues to overreach, and abuse his authority. or he wants us to overreact and give him the license to continue the escalation. So don't do that. We have to protest. Keep using your voices, absolutely.
All right, Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We look forward to more updates from you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.